Time to get real with Shannon Hesse, broker at Wise Living Real Estate in Fairhope. We'll talk housing trends, investment preference, interest rates, and more. That's Time to Get Real Wednesday mornings at 7:15 on FM Talk 106.5.
Instead of having,
Mike Bailey, a pioneer of the Gulf Coast wine scene, and award-winning food entrepreneur.
I know a lot of you wondering what to do with your moon pies. So I've got some wine suggestions. Lemon moon pies, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, or Pinot Grigio.
Stuart Rev Donald, acclaimed food and travel writer and world-class chef.
I was chef de casserole. I made the casseroles in the frozen food department.
For more than a decade, they've combined their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or ought to know. Four-time Taste Award finalists, 12-time Neffy Award losers. They are the dynamic duo of dining. Keep screaming for more. Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Hey, that's welcome to this sunny, beautiful first day of fall morning and our first day of fall shoe show.
no, it's not. It is not
On the calendar.
Right.
On the calendar.
And that doesn't count. That doesn't
I
count.
know it.
What we had was an autumnal equinox. How was your autumnal equinox, Michael?
Same as it always was. Same as it ever was.
12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I guess I didn't really look.
Yeah, that's actually that's what happens on the equinoxes, the autumnal, or just drew a blank to the other one. But the one in spring it's exactly 12 hours daylight, 12 hours darkness. That's what it means. Not that any season is changing. Yeah, vernal equinox. Thank you. That's all that means.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when our highs are in the 90s, it's not fall.
Yeah.
Temperature determines season. Learned that from my buddy Bill. He was just out now.
He talks about that stuff all the time.
Yep.
But anywho, welcome to the Sip and Chew Show. We are a food and wine show, or beverage show, or all of that above. Huh?
Drink,
yeah. Right. But,
grub and drink show. That's what we should. Yeah, we should rebrand it right now to a grub and drink show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Eat here. So anyway, how was your week this week?
Not too bad. Not too good. Not too bad. Just a week.
Okay.
No hurricanes. Can't say that about next week.
Yeah, that's true. Just some rain. It's not going to be. It just depends on, they're talking about that.
Right now we're dead in the center of the cone of uncertainty, but it's tracking further to the east. So hopefully by the time we actually have a Category 4 floating around out there, that we will be outside the cone of uncertainty. Yeah. I live my life outside the cone of uncertainty.
I just look at it. It's nothing I can do for it but prepare. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
I've been through many of them, like all of us that live here have, and they just don't worry me unless they get 3 or above.
Yeah.
Then I worry.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about flooding where I live because I'm on the top of a hill, and the bottom of the hill is about 75 feet. For us to get a storm surge that floods my house, we're talking Noah. So, that far inland and that far above sea level.
I haven't. I live downtown, as you know, and
now you're gonna flood.
I don't think it's some of the streets, but it's not, like not coming into your house flooding.
Right.
But most all the houses there are off the ground anyway, a foot or two. So, as far as I know, hasn't been on my street. There hasn't been any flooding there, but I've only lived there 9.5 years, so
yeah, and that spot's been there for 4.65 billion. So
that's sure. So, anywho, that's why the French were smart when they went to New Orleans and founded the French Quarter. It was like the highest part.
3 feet.
It's in a basin. How do you figure that one? They just found an island in the middle.
No, they built it up. That was just a swamp there.
Yeah.
I mean, and the river has tried to change course, I think 3 times since it was built there. Eventually, it's going to change course. There's nothing to do about it. It's going to go right through the middle of the city.
Yeah.
But we didn't know as much.
Property.
We did not know as much back in those days.
Well, they did have the foresight, like you were saying here, to keep the houses cool. They built them up on but that was for air conditioning. They weren't thinking about any flooding in those.
Yeah.
You know, now we even have the quote Army Corps of Engineers ideas of sewage drainage, but they get backs up so fast. It's
Yeah.
just amazing here.
Well, if that does happen, then all the beignets are going to get soaked.
Soggy
They get
beignets.
soggy, yeah. It's not going to be
You think
good.
they've come up with an idea like to float that? You know, just put them on pontoons, everything over there.
There you go. There you go, like a dock, the
You know,
docks.
the Soggy Beignet sounds like a blues song.
Oh, that would be a good song. Yeah, I'll write it.
That
could be your hit.
You know how Roy plays blues
Mhm.
at Butch Cassidy's Cafe in the heart of the Bush Entertainment District. But, the young kids there cannot stand the music that work there.
Really?
Drives them up the wall. And they're like, it's the same song over and over. Well, you are absolutely right. Blues is exactly that. It is there's nothing creative to the blues.
Kind of like a Hallmark
Yeah.
Christmas movie, kind of
You
like
know,
a Britney Spears
That's what the
song.
blues are. It is
Or
a set chord structure.
Mhm.
There's a set subject matter, broken heart, out of money, something that gives you the blues.
Oh, country.
In country.
But they've got dogs, trains, and mama going to prison.
Well, they've added in
And
there.
getting out of
you
it.
know,
And they have different chord structures too. If you ever look at the chord structure to My Home's in Alabama by Alabama, there's like 11 different chords in that song. I was
Sure.
first time I looked at it, I was holy cow, those guys were good.
Yeah.
But blues, it's
3 chords.
Yeah, 3 chords, pentatonic scale. It's not about coming up with something new.
Yeah.
It's about the
It's
subject
about
matter.
your emotional response. So
Yeah.
I listen to it for great vocal performances. I don't care what they're talking about because it's the same thing. My baby done left me, and all day long I got the blues. That's it. That's the theme of every song. And the instrumental performances, because the sax solo, guitar solo, that's what the blues is
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
The
The
actual,
arrangement.
the improvisation, the emotional thing. It is so hard for these young kids to get it because and what kills me is you're talking about cookie cutter stuff.
Oh,
I mean, they talk about, well, this new AI, it's going to put musicians out of business.
No.
Folks, musicians hadn't been in business for years, in decades. I mean, look at all the popular music now. It's the same thing. Who was it? Gosh, she was this Australian rapper, but they just found out she didn't do anything on any of her albums, and that's why she's gone away. See, I can't even remember her name.
so memorable.
Yeah, and there's so many of them. They're like, they've had people come up going, "That's me singing on that."
Well, the good thing
Yeah.
about AI, and while you're on this subject,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a thing to do with, cooks. How's that going to work?
Mm.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
That's called fast food. No, seriously, there's no cooking in a fast food
So
establishment.
you're talking machinery.
Right. They
Yeah, stamp it out.
have human beings that put the meat in place, put the bread in place. Machines take care of the rest.
The robotics.
Yeah.
AI through robotics.
Yeah. So fast food has been AI for a very long time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ray Kraft.
Well,
Ray
I
Kraft.
don't think that was his intent originally, but I think, like most good ideas, we were talking about that off mic earlier about like co-ops and so forth. Just amazing how it's a great idea for local, and then all of a sudden it's not because of interventions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
brings us back to local. We've all bought steaks and stuff at the grocery store,
Mhm.
right? Well, last week I had the chance to try some brisket, already smoked, taken care of, that the cow was raised in Mobile County,
Really?
broken down in Mobile County, and the guy who smoked it owned the cow. And it was some of the best brisket I've ever had in my life,
Wow.
even over Texas. And that was Mason Hill Farms.
Yeah.
I got to talk with Joey Mason last week. I went to the outdoor show at the grounds,
Hmm.
and Joey was there cooking up burgers and doing brisket so people could try his product. By the way, you can buy that brisket already smoked, Mike.
Well, that's cool.
I don't know what the price is, but he had them vacuum sealed, ready to go.
Cool.
I'm sure it ain't cheap
No,
because it ain't cheap to get a whole brisket.
it's not
Much
anymore
less
right now
money.
anywhere.
Right. But my gosh, that brisket was good.
That's,
You did it all local, as you.
Yeah.
in
And I
Mason
mean,
Hills.
it was a cow who lived in Grand Bay, Alabama,
Mhm.
and died in Grand Bay, Alabama, and got consumed in West Mobile.
Local's always better.
Yeah, but Joey says they've got their own fabrication plant right there on the property.
Yeah.
So, they handle the raising, the slaughter, the fabrication, which fabrication is technical talk for where they cut the meat up, and then packaging. All of it handled right there in Grand Bay.
Mhm.
And it was noticeably different in that. And then you've gotten a chance to try the tomahawk ribeye. That was what we
Yeah,
had at Le Mans.
right. Well, I think we're going out there in a couple weeks.
Le Mans? Or
No,
let's go to Mason
We're
Hill.
going to Mason Hill.
Give them a number, Mike.
251-343-0106 is the Callahan's Irish Social Club call and text in line.
Boy, I was shaking the plant.
Thursday night at 7, Auburn fans can weigh in with Tiger Talk
Well, it's
OT.
obvious
Doug
to
Holden
me,
takes
talking
your
about
calls
that
on the
before,
Morgan
it's
Bradley
obvious.
Alpha
Back to the
Hotline,
ball.
343-0106. Morgan
Grass
Bradley and
here,
Malcolm
the
Stair and Dabney,
grass,
a proud
yeah,
sponsor
you know,
of Tiger Talk
you
OT
can all
on
look
FM
at
Talk
it.
1065.
For more than 50 years, Mobile Bay Magazine has showcased the
I did
history,
not have
style,
brisket
arts,
in
dining, and
Lincoln.
entertainment that defines
I have a
excellence
lot
on
steak.
both sides of Mobile Bay. Each
That
month's
was
issue is filled
noticeably
with our
better
unique
steak
Southern
than
Alabama
Lincoln,
culture,
Nebraska.
beautifully
Yeah.
captured and told through engaging
Nashville,
articles and
Mobile,
stunning
New
photography.
Orleans.
When you subscribe
Place
to
in New
Mobile Bay
Orleans where I
Magazine,
had
you'll
the
be
really good
swept into the
stuff was
pages where
at
recipes, familiar
Hey,
places,
was
and
that
faces,
same
and
fault.
untold stories abound. Start your journey today by
cool.
visiting MobileBayMag.com. That's MobileBayMag.com.
Every Monday at 7, Jennifer Booster presents Sweet Home Canabama. Brought to you by Canabama in downtown Mobile, Alabama's first cannabis retailer. Answering your questions with accurate information and dispelling the myths of cannabis. With guests from every corner of the cannabis industry, check Canabama.com and email comments to info@Canabama.com. And join Jennifer Booster Mondays at 7 p.m. for Sweet Home Canabama on FM Talk 1065.
Chances are you or someone you know is struggling with an addiction. Just like most things in life, if you ignore it, it won't go away. The truth of the matter is, if you want to reclaim your life, you need help. That's why you need to call the National Recovery Center sooner than later. We can't help unless you're ready to be helped. You need to want a better life. You need to want to stop the downward, out of control spiral you've been on. You need to make a conscious effort and take control. Our programs are designed to provide you with the care and support you need. Every person is treated with a unique treatment plan designed specifically for you, regardless of what stage of addiction you're in. Don't let the pain of addiction ruin your life. Call 800-950-0248. That's 800-950-0248. 800-950-0248.
Miss a show? No problem. Podcasts of your favorite FM Talk 1065 shows are waiting for you right now at FMTalk1065.com. And never miss a minute of the best in local talk when you subscribe to FM Talk 1065 on iTunes or Stitcher. To get on the line, call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Hey, everybody, we want to thank a few people.
Thank you.
We want to thank Bob's Downtown Diner on the corner. Fat Happy, always got something going on there. It's 7 days a week except Christmas and Easter.
Meatloaf
And,
omelet. Meatloaf omelet.
Yeah, meatloaf omelet. Yeah, that's right. Go get that meatloaf omelet there. I wonder if they're going to
Omelet
do
two
it.
fromage.
If they'll ever do a bologna omelet.
It'd be just as good as a fried spam omelet.
Spam omelet, yeah.
I don't like either one.
Have you ever had an oyster omelet, Steve?
Nah, I can deal with that. It's taken me a long while to get with it.
Because they let off a good deal of the water in them. They're not as firm as regular omelets. So
Yeah.
they're a little runny no matter what you do.
Sure.
Oh boy, they're good. And if oyster's a bit much for you, try a crab omelet.
Oh, now that sounds
In
good.
fact, Winsel's, I don't know if they still do because I hadn't been in a while, but they had a crab omelet po' boy on their menu for many years.
That sounds good.
Anyway,
So anyway, if you like seafood, like we were saying, even though it's a hamburger place, you can get seafood there at Butch Cassidy's there on Florida and O'Shell. We finally call it Floshell. He does have really good crab claws and there, and I've had them, and they're always big.
And
they're
I'm
really good.
convinced Roy does not like me
do they have onion
Why?
rings on
because
it?
he was, huh?
I was going to ask, does Butch have onion rings on his menu?
Oh, yeah.
Big old
Oh,
onions.
yeah. Hand cut every day. He clearly doesn't like me because he's Fox 10 came in the other day, did some shooting in the kitchen. And Then he went on Studio 10
Mm-hmm.
the next day. He said, Stu, what should I feature on the menu? I said, how about something fried, Roy? Because I work the grill. Oh, no, it's hard to do anything fried on there. Well, take a salad. Nah, so he did all burgers. So I'll be getting
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And we want to thank Hall Sausage and Wholesale Meats, now available at the Piggly Wigglies in Foley and well, in Baldwin County, rather, and all the Greer stores as well. So get over there and ask for it. And if you don't see it, and ask for it by name. Ask for it. So anywho, that is strange. I've gone to seafood places and had one heck of a steak or a hamburger, and then I've gone to hamburger places and had great seafood.
Every time I hear something like that, I hear my son. Okay,
Uh-huh.
all his years.
Yeah.
He doesn't like cheese.
Huh.
Kind of figured out why. I think he's got lactose sensitivity. But for years, we'd take him to, a Ruth Chris or someplace. Okay, chicken fingers. It was always,
Yeah.
that was his mainstay. And it always just kind of was funny.
The worst part of the chicken.
But I'm just saying that, you go to a nice place, you get
People
a
are
nice.
crazy about chicken tenders, and I'm like, it has no flavor. I get that it's tender.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but it's no flavor. I don't see the fascination. And people have these arguments. What's the best chicken tender? There's no such thing as the best chicken tender. There's slightly better or slightly worse, but they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah. I
So Tyson's isn't any better than any other.
No, I mean the chicken tender restaurants.
Oh,
That comes down to whose sauce do you like that?
nah.
what is your favorite sauce?
What, for chicken tenders?
Anyway.
I'll be honest, the food sauce is really good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's a glorified Thousand Island.
Yeah.
Basically. It's a little
Honey
spicy.
mustard.
Same thing as like a blossom sauce.
Mm-hmm.
They're all pretty much mayonnaise, little ketchup, some horseradish, chili powder, little other stuff.
What's yours, Steve?
I like an Oriental. Have sweet and sour.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, that stuff's good.
yeah.
It's not.
But see, that's the problem with chicken tenders.
Mhm.
You need a sauce.
You're right. You're right. And I tell you what I like, and it is a chain, Popeyes. They do.
Mhm.
I like their chicken every now
And
and
their
then.
breading is different.
Oh,
They're very
absolutely.
different. But they have these things called Cajun sprinkles.
Yeah.
It's a little pack. You just sprinkle it on your chicken or whatever.
It's like red hots or
Huh?
red peppers, rather.
It's
a mix.
Cajun season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a really good Cajun season.
But they don't tell you about it. You have to ask for it by name.
One of those secret menu items.
You gotta ask them.
You gotta ask them. And it's called Cajun sprinkles. And I had never heard about it. And one night at a fine establishment downtown, somebody mentioned, have you had the Cajun sprinkles? So I went to the Popeyes there and I said, you got those Cajun sprinkles? So she gave me about 5 or 6. I'm addicted. Sometimes I go get a piece of chicken just to
get the sprinkles.
Yeah, I got a pile of them on my counter at the house in a bowl.
I think the South is the only place we do that. It's like, okay, hey, look at my club department, get an napkin. It's like,
I can't stand. It just irritates me to look in a refrigerator and see the little packs of soy sauce and mayonnaise, and
Why do they put them in the refrigerator?
I don't know. I see them like a cup in the door, and they got all their little sauces they collected. Should I throw those away? Nah. And then they're on the counter in the way, and I said, I'll put them in the refrigerator.
we had them in a box. I mean, everything from Arby's sauce to
Oh,
Taco
that's
Bell
terrible.
sauce.
Arby's
to-
sauce is terrible.
Oh, I love Arby's.
Now I love
sauce.
the horsey
horsey
sauce.
Yeah,
I
I
love
like
the
horsey
horsey sauce.
That Arby's sauce, I think, is one of the worst versions of barbecue, and that's what it is. That's their
It's supposed to
version
be
of
barbecue?
Yeah,
I didn't have it.
barbecue.
They have a brisket. They do a pretty good job with their brisket sandwich, but
Slice it.
But I make sure before I pull out of the parking lot that I got my horsey sauce, because
Oh, absolutely.
I've gotten somewhere and they put something else in there
Yeah.
and not the horsey sauce, and I'm so mad.
Well, they ask, and most of the occasions they'll ask. I'll say, what do you want? I said, one of each,
Mm.
please. Yeah.
So if we're talking about fast food and what you got to get there, Cat and D's. Don't
They still
eat that.
exist?
Oh yeah, it's one and two.
I know. I'm just.
I go there twice a year. I get a craving for that about once every 6 months, but I got to have all the malt vinegar in the building.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the purpose of fish and chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not using malt vinegar, you're not eating fish and chips. And I want every fry, and that's usually what it's for. It's for the fries,
I didn't know that.
and then the fish as well. That's why they have malt vinegar.
I thought,
And,
you
uh,
know, turds
the
are
batter-
fish.
Five Guys has malt vinegar. They don't serve
Really?
fish. Yes,
The
but
batter is different on the fish.
yeah, well, it's
These-
flour. It's more of a tempura style or
Yeah.
beer batter style,
Mhm.
only without the beer. They add some beer to it, it'd be much better. But like I say, but I grew up on cornmeal fried fish.
Mm.
So the flour thing is just, I want something different. So about every 6 months, I'm heading up to Captain D's.
Where did I go? I went somewhere. And
Their southern catfish is terrible.
It's not really southern, is it?
No, I'm fairly certain it's Shui.
where was
It
I
is
at?
just, or it's
A lot
saltwater.
of them, they pull in tilapia. They try to pass it
That's
off.
not catfish.
I know, but I'm just saying.
It's chicken tenders. But now we're back to chicken tenders again. We're talking about tilapia. I have learned some different medical things about tilapia. You know, it's not healthy when it's farm raised because the feed they give it gives it so much cholesterol. You're better off eating bacon, which
Yeah.
defeats the whole purpose of eating fish.
You're always better off when you eat bacon.
Not health wise.
All
Right.
that.
It's very
That little
low
thing.
in omega-6 fatty acids, which is what you eat fish for. But
Exactly.
it's super high in protein.
Mm.
It's a really good source of lean
I
protein.
was going to say very lean. white
So
meat.
there's kind of some balance into it like that. But if you had it wild caught, it changes everything.
Mhm.
Now it's a very healthy fish. The cholesterol goes down. They'll have a few more omega-6s. It's still not high in omega-6s. You know what the healthiest fish, I say fish in quotes because it's not technically
Tuna.
fish, whale.
Whale, really?
Whale is the healthiest meat protein you can eat on the planet. But it's a mammal, so technically it's not a fish.
Right.
But it's illegal to eat except in Japan. So because of the scarcity of whales. I don't understand. I mean, if we all started eating whale, there wouldn't be any.
We'd be done. Yeah.
We're not eating them now, and there's almost not.
Yeah.
So
So much
that's
waste.
why,
Same
Kirk.
thing with the bison.
That's why Kirk and Spock had to come back, grab a few, take them back to the future.
Star Trek reference, folks.
Man, if they don't know what that was, we can't help them.
Well, I was going to say, that's
Ain't
great.
nothing we can do here on this show that can help them
That's
in life.
great. That's
They
a
don't
great movie.
know who Kirk and Spock are.
That's right.
And you know, when they came out with the new Star Trek movie,
Next generation.
no,
No.
the new one, the J.J.
Oh, yeah.
Abrams one.
Yeah.
When I went to see it, there was an old fella in overalls behind me, a whole family together. And it started out, and it's Kirk's dad as a lieutenant.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, Thor played him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Wait, I thought Kirk was the captain," and he was lost the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Grandma went to the bathroom, and one of the kids came back and yelled, "What did I miss? They threw Captain Kirk off the boat." He got caught up at the end when you hear Leonard Nimoy go, "Space." And he goes, "The final frontier."
Oh, my goodness.
I hated having that family behind me because, I mean, they shouted at the top of their lungs everything.
Yeah.
But now it's a great story.
Yeah.
It does look
That's
great.
what they call type 2 fun. At the time, it was miserable, but looking back, it's pretty cool. It's like I tell brides, your wedding's not going to be perfect. And chances are, whatever goes wrong is going to be your favorite memory 10 years.
There you go.
Type 2 fun.
We were sitting at a
Hey, did we think whole sausage and wholesale meats, by the way? I don't
Yeah.
think we did.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
okay. I missed it.
I was sitting
You
at
just did.
a fine establishment downtown
Mhm.
late yesterday afternoon, and here comes two big old golf carts pulling up, like carry 8 or 9 people each,
Yeah.
and there was a bride in her wedding gown in there, and I mean it was, she had a big train. She come there, and I said that thing's gonna be filthy. 251-343-0106 is the Callahan Irish Social Club. Call and text it. Number.
I felt like I was catching a cold yesterday.
FM
All
Talk
a bunch of sidekicks.
The Gulf
And now that it's starting to cough a little, after the cold's going, I always get a cough at the end of the cough. I have ever since I had pneumonia.
Yeah, that's just part of
The
your.
lower
Yeah.
90s this
So
afternoon.
the fact that I developed a little cough,
Respiratory.
I jumped on it early enough.
Monday,
Yeah, I'm a big fan
sunny,
of the
readings in the
Star
lower
Trek
90s.
alternative.
This is Peter on his doctor.
The Kelvin time.
FM Dog 106.5.
FM Talk 106.5, the Gold Coast Weather Authority.
I didn't do much good
Everybody,
with
Joey
the
Mason
one
from
with,
Mason Hills Farm back in studio. Last time we were talking
Dominic
about smoke on the farm. How's
Cumberbund?
that going?
No, I loved it. I think the way you
Huge
did it
one.
was
What
perfect.
else you got going on? Listen to this,
The
y'all.
one
Pay
after that
attention.
with,
For the month of
I think
September,
these
we're going to be
things, they've been
launching
considering
or
for Bob
relaunching some new
Ah,
flavors
yeah.
that we have, or some new renditions of the Herschelberg.
as the
Because we
former,
really
he was,
are
I don't know,
fired
if
up
you've seen
about the smoke on the
Yeah,
farm
that's the
event,
one
we're
where,
going to have 10 golden tickets
I
that
don't
we're
know,
going to put inside
with
the
the super-
packages.
I know what they got in Willy Wonka. What do we
yeah,
got
where
in
he,
Hills Farm?
he
So you don't get a
adapted to
chance to
all
win the
this.
whole
and
farm,
then he was
okay.
Yeah.
but you do get a
captain
chance
from
to
way
be able
back.
to
I
come
think
and
it
have
was
an
RoboCop.
exclusive experience that most
Was it
people
Peter
would not
Weller?
get the chance to do.
Or
We'll take you
someone that
behind the
looks
scenes.
just
We'll
like
give you
Star
your
Trek
smoke on the
Beyond.
farm. You'll
Yeah,
get
Star Trek
access to
Beyond was
VIP.
it, and,
We'll do some cooking demonstrations with you, and really you'll get to travel
I mean,
around
they
with us
pegged
and
everybody.
see how we do
Idris
these things
Elba.
for the event.
Okay, so
Oh,
check
And
your
I
yeah.
couldn't think of the actor. He was the
Yep.
villain.
And you don't
But,
have to have a purchase.
He's a
You
very
can
good
go
actor,
online,
but he's also
and
really
we
full
are
of
giving one
himself.
away for free
He
for
was
those
talk-
that are
He
not
was
able
talking
to
about
purchase.
how
And
embarrassing it was
MacyHillsFarm.com.
being in Thor movie. He goes, I was Idi Amin. No, you played Idi Amin in a play with cameras, dude. You weren't Idi Amin.
you know, it was awesome. And it was, Kinto as Spock is perfect cast.
Yeah,
That's 1-800
perfect. It really is.
7214. Sponsored by the Alabama
And Chris
Department of
Pine,
Resources.
yeah.
Department of
Great.
Justice,
Kirk.
and
Greatest
grant
and,
number 18
you know who his dad is?
Yeah.
Sergeant Contreras.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trips.
Yeah.
Hello, friends.
Robert
This
Pine.
is Randy Bergen, host
Yeah.
of Southern Fairway Sports Radio Show. Well, the football season is
Which
underway.
I was a big fan of Chips, but I mean, in my opinion, Pine Chris is way surpasses his dad's acting.
Oh, yeah. Well, then again, how much time did Robert Pine spend on set? Because pretty much he did Chips on television.
Maybe some hunting and fishing as well, and you know we'll have some giggles along the way.
Oh,
Southern
really?
Fairway
What
Sports
about
Radio
the,
Show with me, Randy Bergen, every Saturday morning
all of
at
that
10 a.m.
stuff?
right here on FM
All of
Talk
them?
106.5.
Well,
He wants that.
Mike Bailey, Stuart
Just
Red
touch
Donald.
on.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Devoted to the complete gastronomic experience.
Want a big butter and egg man.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
We got great bumper music.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, Steve, for setting up all of
Yeah,
this good bumper music. And we don't have the same 4 songs that play every week. It
Yeah.
actually rotates through the list of about 100 songs.
Thank you, Steve.
Here we
But we need to indoctrinate Steve, and I will send him the link so that next week he can get fully indoctrinated in some things that have been a tradition on here.
Uh-oh.
He needs to hear the fried chicken song.
Yeah.
The kids ordering with a guitar at Sonic, and then the 2 fellows that
No.
ordered by song at Taco Bell.
Talk about that.
Yeah, we
That's
had
a
2.
classic.
The one at Sonic is a carload of like college age kids, and the guy in the passenger seat's got a guitar, and he is improvising everything. Please don't forget the extra cheese. It's really good.
And then the guy working the window,
Oh yeah, the Taco Bell.
he did not miss a thing when he read it back to him.
Yeah, that was more impressive than there. And these guys had worked on this song to do this order. You could tell for a long time
Yeah.
because it had harmonies.
Right.
It was very long. It was very. In fact,
mean it wasn't ad-libbed?
oh no way it could have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
The order when they were done was enough to feed like 20 people.
So
Yeah.
many times I've had so many people come up to me, is that all you do? I mean, it must be a really easy job what you do. I said, come on in, have a seat. Let's show you what we do. Oh, I could do that. Okay. And that's like me coming into your business saying,
Mhm.
hey, dude, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Don't take away the credit or the
Yeah.
value or the,
And
Right.
whenever you've had Karens in the restaurant industry
oh yeah.
and they're complaining about service and they always want to go, how hard is it to do? And I always stop myself just short of saying, well, I guarantee you from this conversation, it's more than you can handle.
Right. That's you. That's you.
Yeah,
Being-
you are not
being nice.
displaying a whole lot of mental acumen at the moment.
I just don't understand people walk into restaurants, and Sunday's the worst, by the way. Sunday's the worst for tipping.
Oh, and for people looking to pick up a fight.
I don't understand that. I just don't get it. People.
And it's a
spoiled.
uniquely Mobile thing.
Is it really?
The church crowds that we got in Nashville were great. Pensacola, they're great, but there are just some crowds When I was working for Crapplebee's, the very first lady that walked in the door on a Sunday morning walked in and said, "You're going to have to turn this rock and roll music off."
Wow.
I didn't
And
know
I
they
said,
played.
and I said, "Ma'am, this is Applebee's bar and grill. You're in a bar."
Elitism much?
Our corporate mandate is we play rock and roll music. Well, you're going to have to turn it down. Ma'am, our corporate mandate is we are a bar and grill. We play rock and roll music and we play it loud.
So did you get
Well, I think I'll go to Morrison's. And I said, no, they didn't eat. She said, "Well, maybe I should go to Morrison's." I said, "Ma'am, I really think that's what you're looking for.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think this is not
Soft
the
background
experience
music.
that you're looking for."
Yeah.
So right next door was Morrison's. So she went there, and I'm sure she was as pleasant with them as she was with us.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's triggered by their blood sugar being too low. They waited too long to eat. It really is, because I turned the table around one time.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm being serious. When you don't eat, your blood sugar drops, and that leads to irritability.
Mhm.
Sure.
And
That's why I eat.
Come
my
on,
blood
You're not
sugar-
irritable?
but I had a
I still
lady
get irritable.
years ago when I was writing for Zelia and Current. I waited tables at Olive Garden just to fill in holes when I had a bad month. And these three ladies came in, and two of them were just as pleasant as they could be. And the other one said, "I wanted to go to Wenzel's, but I got outvoted."
Wow.
Okay.
Stay in the car.
Well, let's see what we can do for you here. She goes, "I wanted catfish, and y'all took catfish off the menus." Ma'am, Olive Garden only had catfish on the menu for 2 years out of their 40-year history. And she goes, "Well, that's what I wanted." And I said, "I got a plan for you." I said, "Get the chicken Parmesan, pretend it's fried chicken with tomato gravy." "Well, okay, I'll try that." Came back after they'd eaten. "How was everything?" She goes, "That's the best fried chicken tomato gravy I'd ever had." Her blood sugar was low, and it made her irritable.
Yeah.
She got some breadsticks in her. She started to mellow out by the time she ate her lunch.
Breadsticks ought to make anybody happy.
Yeah.
They do at Texas Roadhouse.
Just bring out the loaf for me.
So
man.
yeah, so for a lot of people, that irritability in the first walk in is because they're hungry.
That's probably why
Plain simple.
that's probably why at Mexican restaurants they give you those chips and salsa to start out with.
Mhm.
I went to, speaking of which, I went to Tulum the other day in Spanish Fort,
I saw that open up.
brand new restaurant, and it's owned by the Don Rubin and Armando and all that family. So they got a lot going on. They just opened that one.
Yeah.
They got one they're building right here where the old Charlie's was.
Shea Chucks.
hmm And then I forgot what they're going to turn Oscar Charles into, but they're opening up a restaurant on Dolphin Street where the old Southern National used to be. And it's a taqueria, actually.
Okay, I saw that there was one coming out. I
Uh-huh.
wonder how Frankie feels about that.
So, well, I mean, Frankie's Central American, isn't he?
Frankie does what Frankie wants.
Yeah.
And he's not constrained by anything. It's anything Latin American that
Mhm.
Frankie wants to do.
Yeah, he does
And I'm okay with
a
that.
genre of everything.
Yeah, because when you're a chef,
Mhm.
you don't do the menu people want. You do the menu you
Yeah.
want. And you hope you're good enough that people want your menu.
Yeah.
Restaurants that
Mhm.
aren't chef driven, you do what the customer wants.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
wondered about that.
And I've made this argument for you. I understand that at the crux of this, you come in, you pay me for food, and I give you food. But
Mhm.
if I don't have a creative outlet for this, I'm not going to give you any food. I'm going to go find another career.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we talked last week about Avicii,
Mhm.
opening, and I drove by there, and that is, it's a niche market, but at the same time, once it latches on, man, that's good. That's the variety. I like that personally.
Well-
'Cause, I mean, you can only do so much cookie cutter.
Mobile has done so much growth in the type of cuisines you can find here. Because Mike knows when I was at Lucky, I was ready to move back to Nashville or to New Orleans because I was so frustrated with this town wanting every restaurant to be Cracker Barrel. They didn't want to go to different restaurants and get different food. They wanted the same dadgum food at every, and that makes anyone who's creative, which culinary arts is an art form,
Yeah.
that makes them want to go
Culinary
someplace else.
arts.
In the wine business, I dealt
Yeah.
with a lot of people who moved to Mobile to open a restaurant. They did. And it didn't matter what their cuisine was. People wanted something fried.
Yeah.
They wanted it fried.
And when Pete opened Sunset Point, he did not want to do fried seafood. And they said, "Why not? That's what everyone loves." He goes, "Every restaurant in town does fried seafood, and they do a great job." I've been all over the world. There's other ways to do seafood.
Mhm.
Now he has since kind of backed off a little in that these snapper throats you can get grilled or fried.
Mhm.
You're an idiot to get them fried. They're so good grilled. That's one of the best fish dishes you will ever eat is the snapper throats.
When Old Bay Steamer was around, they didn't do fried.
Right.
It was all steams,
Well,
all steamed seafood. It was great.
Now, the
Correct.
upside of the frying thing is it's hard to screw up fried seafood. Unless you're using
Dropping-
bad product.
Drop and
Mhm.
pull, yeah.
Yeah. But as long as you're using fresh seafood, no matter what your recipe is, it's pretty much going to taste the same. And I used to have some friends, everywhere they went, they wanted to try the best fried shrimp on the Gulf Coast. Well, it's the same at every restaurant. Maybe slightly different, but everybody's fried shrimp is pretty much fabulous, right?
Mhm.
And then they came back and they said, Flounders is different. So I went over to Pensacola and I got the fried shrimp at Flounders, and it is different. It is significantly better than any place else on the Gulf Coast.
Hmm.
And I figured it out. They add some fresh breadcrumbs into the flour, and it makes it extra crispy on the outside. Flavor-wise, tastes like everybody else's. Pretty much everybody's fried shrimp tastes the same.
Yeah.
Good. Really, really good. But that Flounders breading was different enough to go, okay, this is better than what I'm used to.
Okay.
But for the most part, all fried shrimp at all restaurants that are locally owned using local seafood taste pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And it's all good. It's
I want
so
to say,
good.
I ate Wednesday at Cravers,
Yeah.
as we mentioned, and that is the best gumbo I have ever, as they say down here, ever, ever had. God,
And you know, and that's another seafood item or a food item that's offered that can be debated.
gumbo.
You know, it's your own personal preference. Because
Right.
I judged a gumbo competition once a few years ago, and the guy who submitted this one particular gumbo had pickled red onions and pickled okra in it.
Interesting.
It was delicious.
Just the pickled itself.
But when the bakery was around, they used to put their gumbo over wild rice. Delicious.
I like that idea.
Delicious.
I like the diet.
Have
That's
a little-
I
Two,
like
kind,
wild
two
rice.
kinds of grass. Two kinds of grass you're eating with.
Uh-huh.
Is all rice is grass.
Right.
Because I remember when people go, you know that wild rice is actually grass?
Mhm.
Did you know that regular rice is actually grass? Did you know that corn is actually grass?
I was going to say
Wheat,
wheat.
you know that wheat, and rye, and buckwheat, they're all grass. We eat a lot of grass.
We're like cows.
We eat a lot of cows, therefore we eat a lot of grass, right?
There you go.
And depends on what the cow's eating in this grass, how good he is.
Well, I hear Mason Hill Farms is very good.
Well, here, you've tried that tomahawk ribeye.
Oh yeah, and I had some samples at the Alabama Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo Liars competition that night. They had a tent set up, and Joey was in there serving, and I got a little bit of everything. It was just delicious.
So if it was a liar's competition where they're trying to pass off the beef as fish, what was the scenarios?
The liars competition is
Ain't nothing but a bunch of lies,
and they're not even funny
exaggerated.
anymore, man. They're just
It was
weird.
this long.
I've been to a few of the liars contests, and they're just like, this is so boring. It's just a string of ridiculous. There's no actual story to the lie. It's just let's put
It's
a
all
bunch of
about winning.
outlandish stuff.
It's all
together.
about winning.
Yeah, and I guess the person who wins is the least boring. Although
Sensational
one year
is
there was like an
increases.
11-year-old girl, and she nailed it. She was great.
Mhm.
But there have been a few of those liars contests. Like, oh God, I wish I didn't have to.
I didn't go for the lion. I went for the food and
And the drink,
the beverage.
the grub, and the drink. Hey man, speaking of Dalton Island, I went fishing Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Met my brother down at Cedar
Okay.
Point.
I didn't see any photos.
Oops.
It's a short on Delta Safari. Yeah, nothing great. I caught one 12-inch saltwater catfish and 10 white trout that we just threw on the deck and used as cut bait. But one of the guys fishing with us caught about a 7-pound saltwater cat,
Wow.
and another dude caught a stingray.
Now,
wow.
the saltwater cat, they're a little more hard-headed, aren't they? I've always heard them called hardheads.
Hardhead is actually your yellow cat, but some people call the saltwater cats hard heads as well. They're also called gaff tail because they have a huge fin on the back, and you don't want any part of that. It will go through your foot if it's a big enough catfish,
Yeah.
all the way through it. But the stingray is far more dangerous than the catfish. So the guy that was helping the other dude with the stingray was like trying to hold the skate, the wings, and keep away from the barb because naturally it's in defense mode. And he was able to get. I mean, I've got footage of it.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
and Steve Irwin.
We can't.
I know. You could.
Yeah. But it was a good night. If you're a white trout fisherman, it was a great night.
Oh, yeah. 251-343-0106 is the Callahan's Irish Social Club. Call and text.
Then he got it all.
I can take another breath.
That's a mouthful.
And the biggest sports news.
White trout is delicious. You gotta eat it for 24 hours.
Only on Mobile Mornings.
For more than 50 years, Mobile Bay Magazine has showcased the history, style, arts, dining, and entertainment that defines excellence on both sides of Mobile Bay. Each month's issue is filled with our unique Southern Alabama culture, beautifully captured and told through engaging articles and stunning photography. When you subscribe to Mobile Bay Magazine, you'll be swept into the pages where recipes, familiar places and faces, and untold stories abound. Start your journey today by visiting mobilebaymag.com. That's mobilebaymag.com.
SunSouth is your source for quality John Deere equipment with 21 locations, including Tanner Williams Road in Mobile and Highway 59 in Foley. Visit sunsouth.com for this month's specials. SunSouth, equipment for those that do.
The Home Service Club sponsors this paid advertisement. Attention homeowners. Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fridge, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club. For $1 a day, if any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either do the repair or replace them. HSC has over 15,000 pre-certified, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. HSC provides coverage for up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home. Call for a free, no obligation quote from a trusted HSC service specialist about a home warranty for your entire home.
I worried that big old boy over there gonna start eating in the middle of the net.
First month free, plus $75 off your first year.
The first time I had red beans and rice was when, I don't even know what it's called. Judge Roy Beans.
That's
It's still up there in Carroll.
Mike was familiar.
Oh, man.
Believe it or not, I think it's pizza.
Don't turn your back on
Especially
Bill.
for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience. Where our fear becomes confidence.
Yeah, it was
Where
surprising.
we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
Yeah, we did a
Message
remote
presented
over
by the
there.
AHSAA
I think
and the
toward the end
Alabama
of-
High School Athletic Directors
Because
and
it wasn't long
Coaches
after that, they
Association.
were,
Hello
you know,
again, friends.
image
I'm Randy
and,
Burton, inviting you to join me, Coach Rick Cleveland,
they
and
were,
Coach Mark
a
Lasseter
sty
for
in
the
the
Thompson
eye of
Tractors
the-
Prep Sports
of the
Report.
neighborhood.
We'll be coming to you live from the Eastern Shore Toyota Hyundai
Yeah,
Studios for
Roadhouse,
2
you know,
hours
over there.
beginning at 8 a.m. every Saturday
Little
morning.
area.
We'll visit with coaches, athletes, administrators, and more as we'll keep you up to date on all things prep along the Gulf Coast and the state of Alabama. Wake up with the Prep Sports
You know, your
Report
Mexican
team
stuff
this
off
Saturday
that
morning
morning.
starting at
I
8
think
a.m. right here on FM Talk 106.5.
I thought you had more.
For more than a decade.
Yeah,
Sip and Chew with Mike and Stu on
I love
FM
that
Talk
stuff. Been on that
106.5.
music. I'd play for Gumbo.
pray.
And for that too. Play and pray. I can't play, but I can pray. Hey, we want to thank
P-R-A-Y, Mike, not P-R-E-Y.
same thing. Hey, we want to thank our friends over there at Bob's down on the corner of Fat and Happy, which is North Jackson and St. Francis Street. I've had a lot of people sitting outside right now enjoying Marcus Elizondo music and the fine foods.
A Bailey's breakfast.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
Maybe a meatloaf omelet.
Mhm.
So there's that. Hey, and we want to thank Hall Sausage and Wholesale Meats. If you're in Baldwin County, you're looking for it, get to your favorite grocery store, ask for it by name,
Axe 'em.
but it's already in the Piggly Wigglies over there.
Piggly Wiggly.
And some of the Greer stores. And we want to thank Butch Cassidy's over on O'Shell Road. Mighty fine hamburgers and seafood. It's got it all right there.
Taco salad.
There you go. There you go. He's got good salads, period. Good salads, period. If you're not feeling it, but he is closed on Sunday. So anyway, what do you have to talk about? You got anything to talk about?
Well, go ahead,
I
Steve.
was just saying, you celebrated first day of fall. I was just going to ask you what you guys would suggest for fall dishes.
Well, in 6 weeks when it gets here, I'll tell you. We're a good 6 weeks away from fall right now.
Yeah,
Butter squash.
our fall for sure.
I do love butter squash. Your winter squashes, which are butternut, acorn, and pumpkin.
Mhm.
That's just the whole pumpkin spice thing.
I thought that. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
But try a butternut squash soup with some Italian sausage ground up in it.
Ooh.
And then you'll want to, it might turn the volume down
I was seeing what was going on.
because we're on live radio.
I was checking to see what was going on the show.
He saw a notification he couldn't resist. It's just letting him know we're
What
on
is this
it.
about? Oh, that's us.
Yeah. But,
Where are my glasses?
yeah,
On your
butternut
face?
squash soup. You roast the butternut, puree it, add a
Mhm.
little cream, maybe a little chicken stock, salt, pepper, garlic to taste. Crumble up some Italian sausage, sprinkle that in it, and then I generally will drizzle it with a little creme fraiche.
What little what?
Creme fraiche. But
What
if
is
you want fresh cream and
fresh
French, but it's actually cultured. If you want a fake creme fraiche instead of paying the ridiculous price that it is, take some sour cream and add just a touch of heavy cream to it so that it thins a little.
Okay.
That's faux creme fraiche, and usually a balsamic drizzle as
What
well.
would you think of maybe a butternut pasta or Alfredo pasta thing, something like that? Would that go along with
I would
this?
like to try and a lot of people do. Basically, if you've got a heavy cream soup, you've also got a sauce.
Mhm.
Cheese soup is cheese sauce.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But just make the butternut squash soup and put it over pasta.
Ooh.
And then you've got basically a butternut Alfredo if you want to look at it that way.
Parmesan on top or the
Sure.
decorated? Yeah.
I think anything with pasta should have Parmesan on top, whether it's Italian or not.
Hmm.
I have a friend that makes this dish called, Mike's going to love it, Flitschke.
Flinchy.
Flitschke.
Flitschke.
Flitschke. It is Bavarian, I believe. It's essentially fettuccine with ham, butter, you cook it all together.
Mhm.
And I was over there and I said, can I get some Parmesan cheese? She goes, for what? I said, for pasta, naturally.
Yeah.
Put it on there. She tries to, oh my gosh, that's what this dish has been missing.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like chipped up ham, butter, and pasta. Put Parmesan on top of it. It really
Sounds good.
Fall fruits.
You was talking about butternut squash. I was looking at a video where people are making like a pasta
Mhm.
from the butternut
Yeah.
squash, and that looks interesting. I have not had that yet, but that looks interesting.
Or the
to
stringiness
try.
of the,
Yeah.
of the inside. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You do.
Oh, you're
Cold.
talking about spaghetti
So-
squash.
Yeah.
Yeah, spaghetti squash.
Yeah, and it's because it's very fibrous, and when you open it
Mhm.
up, it just pulls apart and
Mhm.
looks like spaghetti.
Yeah.
But I think it tastes very similar to like an acorn or a butternut squash. Maybe not quite as strong of that pumpkin-y flavor.
Yeah.
More butter. Again, you add a lot better with that. You
Well,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got a vessel to hold butter, you put butter on.
That sounds like a Paula Deen answer.
Kind of an obvious, rhetorical question. Okay.
But I did. I just saw that video earlier this week and said, that looks interesting. I need to try that. I should try that.
It was interesting. He was talking about chicken fingers and the taste of nothing. Is there?
Mhm.
And I wanted to ask earlier if there's braising chicken or roasting chicken. That's different, obviously.
Right.
Mm.
And your chicken needs a lot of help. American chicken needs a lot of help. The way we raise it devoids it of most of the flavor. Because I've had a lot of people that go to Mexico and they go, I had just plain chicken down there. It was so much better than it is here. Well, it's, you know, it's been outside, it's seen sunlight, it's eaten worms and insects like it's supposed to, instead of spending its entire life in a garage,
Right.
being fed corn, something it doesn't eat.
Right.
So chicken needs a lot of help.
Corn on
You
top.
put batter on chicken and fry it because it needs the batter to be interesting.
Mhm.
When you roast it, you're slow roasting it. You're getting out that excess moisture it's in. And if you're buying it at a grocery store, there's a lot of excess moisture in it because that's how they get the price up. You're paying for, when you buy at a grocery store, buying proteins at a grocery store, meat, pork, chicken, 30% of what you're buying is water they added to it so they could charge you more money. Pure and simple. And that's, if you go to a slaughterhouse, a butcher shop, something like that, that's why it's different. Because they don't pump it up with bromide.
Well, those schmucks.
Yeah. But you roast that chicken, the main thing where you're getting flavor from is the skin.
Yeah.
And the bones being inside of it.
My favorite part.
You take the bone out of the meat, you take most of the flavor out of the meat. That's why the tenderloin doesn't have that much flavor, because it's not on the bone and it doesn't have any fat. So it's just a muscle that doesn't get worked much. Working it makes it tougher, but it also gives it flavor. The brisket gets a lot of work on a cow's chest, but it's never tender. You have to slowly cook it.
Like pork chops, why they have more?
Yeah, the bone.
Bone.
You get boneless pork chops, they're easier to eat, but they don't have as much flavor.
Mhm.
A lot of that flavor is absorbed in the cooking process from the bone. You've got marrow going on in there. It keeps you from overcooking the meat or cooking it too fast. And this whole debate on, you like regular wings or boneless wings? There's no such thing as a boneless wing. If you want McNuggets, go see the clown.
Right.
If you want wings, you deal with bones.
Yeah.
But don't call them boneless wings. Call them what they are, chicken nuggets.
Mhm.
They're on the kids' menu where they belong. An adult wants to gnaw that bone, son.
What's your favorite pork chop, Mike?
I like the thin.
Ooh, no.
The
Boiled?
thin.
Boiled?
The thin.
Boiled? What kind
Depends
of
on
Kansas thing is that?
Exactly.
I like them
I
thin
don't like
fried.
pork chops personally.
What in the
them
name
thin
of Gail
fried.
Sayers are you talking about?
I like the bone. I like the regular cut pork chop, but thin. And when you fry them, they're, you know, you eat them with your fingers, and they're. That's just I like.
I want mine an inch thick on a grill, cooked medium.
Mhm.
Okay.
Pork can be cooked to medium safely. Beyond medium well, pork chops are inedible to me. They are
Yeah, they
so dry.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
just gristle,
Yeah.
That's
especially
why I like
the
the
thin ones.
thin.
See, that's
fried
why I
ones.
don't like the thin ones, man. It's like eating pork jerky. You're just eating a bunch of gristle and gnawing on a bone.
Not
Not
really.
much meat on it.
It's
Except in
tender.
Butch Cassidy's, because that fell on the grill and I cooked that.
Folks, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you learned something.
Yeah.
I learn every day I come here. Get out there, support local, be local, buy local. Tip them servers, earn your tips. And what else? We're going to do?
Mike, we got to go. Just say provolone.
Oh, yeah, roll on, y'all.
Walk right in, it's right back. Just a half a mile from